Hello dear students, today's presentation is going to focus on the most important punctuation markers. What are the most important ones that you have to use while writing your academic paragraph? What are the differences between them? What are the differences between the usage of each? What are the most important ones that can be used in your academic paragraph to write an efficient and professional academic paragraph? Let's first focus on the definition of the punctuation markers, or what are the punctuation markers. Punctuation is a set of marks that clarifies and regulates the meanings of different texts. Punctuation marks are symbols and signs that are used to aid the comprehension and clarity of written language. Some of these markers are very common punctuation marks, and some are rarely used. Indeed, in English language, there are 15 basic punctuation marks in English grammar. These include the period or the full stop, the comma, the exclamation point, hyphen, question mark, colon, semicolon, bullet point, dash, parenthesis, bracket, brace, quotation mark, ellipsis, and apostrophe. In this presentation, actually, we are going to focus on the 6 common ones to help you to write a good academic paragraph. Let's take them one by one. These common punctuation rules that you have to bear in mind and follow are the full stops, the commas, the semicolons, question marks, capitalization, quotation markers, and the apostrophe. Okay, concerning the full stop, first we have to go through the usage and then give example. Full stop is mostly used at the end of a complete sentence that is a statement. Means that full stop is used in statements that begins with subject, verb, and the complement of the sentence, and not interrogative or question sentences. Let's see. For example, I know him well. Of course, question marks and exclamation marks replace full stops at the end of a sentence. If you are writing a sentence that needs exclamation mark at the end, you have to use the exclamation mark and not the full stop, not both. And of course, as you know, when you are writing a question, you have to use the question mark and not the question mark and the full stop in the same sentence. The second most important punctuation mark is the comma. Commas are used to separate words and word groups in a simple series of 3 or more items. For example, my estate goes to my husband, son, daughter-in-law, and nephew. I'm separating these words because they are equal items. Of course, and is added before the last item of the group. For example, I cannot say my estate goes to my husband and my son and daughter-in-law and nephew. No, I use and just before the last one, and between the other ones I can use the comma. Then the semicolon. What is a semicolon? Semicolon is a full stop atop a comma, over a comma. This is how we write it. Like commas, semicolons indicate a pause but longer than a comma and shorter than a full stop. It's used when the writer wishes to narrow the gap between the two linked sentences. Let's see an example for this. For example, number 1, call me tomorrow. You can give me an answer then. Number 2, we have paid our dues. We expect the privileges listed in the contract. Then the question marks. They are easy, very easy, the question marks. They are used after a direct question, and of course a question is known through the question word or the subject-verb arrangement in the sentence. Means when we have a statement, we begin with the subject, then the verb, then the object or the complement of the sentence. On the other hand, when we are writing a question, if it is not the beginning of the sentence is not a question word, you have to begin the sentence with the verb, then the subject. For example, what people want is so and so. Another example, what do people want? The first one is not a question. Why it's not a question? Because after the question word, which is what, I begin with the subject, people, and then want. and then the verb. Means the arrangement of subject verb is a statement. On the other hand, what? And then I write after what? The verb. What do people want? When I begin with the verb, this means that I'm writing a question and I need a question mark at the end. A word following the question mark is capitalized. This means that I'm dealing with the question mark like the full stop, and I capitalize the sentences or the first word of the sentence after the question mark. Then the capitalization. Capitalization means writing a word with its first letter in the uppercase or the capital letter and the rest of the letters in the lowercase. Capitalize the first word in a document and the first word after a full stop, and as we just said, the first word after a question mark. Capitalize names as follows. It means that we have to capitalize the beginning of the proper nouns at the beginning of the sentences in addition to brands, names of companies, days of the week and months of the year, governmental matters such as the Congress, holidays, institutions, and names of the universities. These are the examples that you have to capitalize the first letter in these words in addition to the proper noun. Then let's go to the apostrophe. When do we use the apostrophe? It is used to show possession, or that you own something or someone owns something. To show possession with a singular noun, add apostrophe plus letter S. For example, the woman's hat, the employer's wife. This is with the singular nouns. What about the plural nouns? Plurals that end with S have their apostrophes after the S without adding another one. We don't add extra S. Means that when we find the apostrophe at the end of the word without S after it, just as before, this means that this noun is plural. When we find apostrophe and then S after it, this means that it is a singular word. Then the last one, which is the quotation mark. Quotation mark means to use double quotation marks to set off a direct word-for-word quotation. Means when you quote a sentence as it is from another person. Someone said something, or you quote something from a book, something from another paper. For example, I hope you will be here, comma, and then the apostrophe S, he said. When I put the apostrophe, the quotation mark, this means that I'm not the one who said this sentence, but I quoted from somebody else. Till here, we finished the most important and common punctuation markers. I hope that they are very beneficial for you, and I hope that you can use them all and apply them in your academic paragraphs later on. Thank you very much.